Welcome to We Are Fine and Neither Are You, a podcast brought to you by two lifetime besties dealing with the beauty and messiness of midlife. Nothing is off limits. Let's get into it. Hi, welcome to We Are Fine and Neither Are You. We are April and April, two lifetime besties here to talk about the beauty and messiness of real life. And we took a little break last week. We're kind of being loosey-goosey this summer because we're having so much fun and just really wanting to connect with our families. So sorry if we're not here every week. We're going to try and record as much as possible, but sometimes life just gets in the way. And, honestly, sometimes we just don't have a whole lot to talk about and we don't want to just get on here and bore you guys. And so sometimes if we take a gap week, it's actually good because a lot of shit goes down. And then when we come back, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. And that is the case this week. We certainly have a lot to talk about. So much has gone on in this, in our country since we talked last. And I did finish the finale of The Bear because if you remember and you listened to the last episode, I was not good and I did not do my homework. My mom job got in the way and I wasn't able to see it. But anyway, I'm here to report that I watched the finale.
I got to hear what you thought about The Bear.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, so The Bear was amazing. It was amazing in like the acting and just the character building. We've already talked about how incredible those characters are.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. This season was a little bit just didn't do it for me. I kept waiting. I feel like the Bear, like it's always stressful. They're always building these characters. You're kind of you forget you're watching a show. You feel like you're watching a train wreck of a restaurant and people it's like very, like I said, triggering for me having like been in that industry. But I just kept waiting for like that moment where it was all going to come together and you were going to be like, oh, okay, like have that aha moment. And for me, it just didn't hit. I mean, it was disappointing because you wait for that buildup because you've had two amazing seasons. So you're like, okay, this third season, they're going to get there. They're going to get there. Just be patient. And then you're patient and then you're left with that finale. Just so open. I mean, I know finales, a lot of times they are open-ended and they keep you guessing so that you'll come back for the next season. But this one was just like, I don't know, the way it said to be continued. Sorry, if you guys haven't seen it. Yeah. If you haven't seen the finale, you might want to just like turn this off until you watch it. But to say like to get the review and for it to be, you're getting blips of words like genius and chaotic and unorganized and brilliant. And like it's like you're getting the sense that the review was, had a lot of great things to say, but was also like there was some criticism as well. And so it was kind of a mixed review. Is kind of how they left you. And then it just said to be continued. So you don't even know like what's going to happen. It'll be interesting to see if, that the finale, they called it the funeral because they were having a funeral dinner for the restaurant that Carmy came up in and was trained in, one of the restaurants he was trained in. And Richie trained there as well. Yep. And the chef was closing down the restaurant. It'll be interesting to see if that woman, that chef, and I'm forgetting her name, if she comes into play in like the next season. I love her as an actress. She's amazing. She's been in some of my favorite
She was a little party girl in the show too. I was like, wow, okay.
I know. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if maybe they recorded the fourth season or did like another half of the third season for us and they're going to surprise us.
Yeah. They're going to drop it in like a month or so. Yeah.
Because I mean, honestly, I can only take so much of the F you, no F you, no F you, no F you.
There wasn't a lot of substance.
Yeah. I'm just like, oh my God. So anyway, it was a little bit disappointing, but not every season can be perfect.
It's not like I'm never going to watch it again. Yeah.
No, I still loved it.
Give us more. Like I want more love story. I want, that's the hallmark in me. I want some like.
Well, and I will say, the Joel McHale who played the asshole chef so I'm wondering if Carmy's gonna maybe have like an aha moment that there's some of that coming out in him and he's treating people in a way in which maybe isn't like gonna be conducive to running like a successful restaurant. And maybe that's why he got the mixed reviews because like while he's a genius in with food and being creative,
Yep.
his leadership skills are not
Yeah.
great. And so
Yeah.
maybe that was kind of an aha moment for him to, just to kind of get some closure there and maybe do
Mhm.
better. I don't know. So it'll be interesting to see what
Yeah.
happens.
I
What do you
went
think?
with that scene, I connected the dots where I thought all he wanted was for him to say he was
He
sorry.
was
That was
sorry.
it. That's
Yeah.
all he wanted. He just needed that "I'm sorry," and he was like, "How could you do this to somebody?" And it was such
Yeah.
a raw scene, but what I think how they're gonna connect it is that's all Claire wants. That's all she needs.
Mm,
She just needs to hear
yeah.
him say, "I'm sorry," and he just
Yeah.
refuses to call her and say, "I messed
That's
up."
actually a good point. Yeah, that's a good point.
So I definitely think that scene was very on purpose, and it was beautifully
Yeah.
done, and I know that actor Joel is it Joel McHale? Is that
Joel
what you said?
McHale. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Joel
know that
McHale.
in real life he's so nice, so that must have been so hard for
Yeah.
him to act like
To
that,
play the
but yeah, it
asshole.
was
Yeah.
so good, so good. So, yes, so okay, well, we're gonna definitely be looking out for season 4 or hopefully 3.0
Yes.
or 3.1 or however you would say it.
Right.
Um,
Well, I have, when we always do a one and done at the end of
yeah,
the show, and I was struggling with what to do this week because I was just like, I don't really have anything, but I was like, oh, I'm just going to do my new favorite show, and we'll do that at
yeah.
the end. But
Okay,
anyway, I have a new
okay,
favorite
so
show,
stay
which
tuned.
I think a lot of people are probably already watching it, but if you're
Okay.
not, it's really good. So we'll talk about that later. But
Okay.
anyway,
All right.
so I have to say, I did just get back from a trip yesterday. I came back
Oh,
from
and guess
Boston,
what?
and
I'm pissed at
what?
you. I'm pissed at
Why?
you. I get to say
Why?
the same thing you did to me last
Why?
week.
What?
Well, tell them who you went and saw first, and then I think you're gonna know
Oh,
why I'm pissed.
so I went and saw the Foo Fighters at Fenway Park, and it
And I
was
thought the last time I talked to
on.
you, I thought I heard that you were a Taylor Swift fan, so
I am.
did you hear what he said about her?
Oh, that she was lip
Uh-huh.
syncing. I'm sorry. I like Dave Grohl more than Taylor Swift. So,
I
well,
was like, "Oh, that's gonna be
he
my
is.
only 'I'm pissed at you' moment in our friendship. I get to finally say something back to you." What a jerk.
Oh,
What a
oh.
jerk.
Well, maybe it wasn't the nicest thing. I will agree with
I
you,
know.
but he is just. He's so
And the
good.
venue,
The
April.
venue the venue so this is my second time seeing a show at Fenway Park, and I saw
Ah,
Pearl Jam a few years ago. They played their 2 shows, and I saw both shows. I mean, that venue is just so magical to begin with. Just being at Fenway Park, the history of it is
mhm.
so wonderful and just cool. The people there are like salt of the earth, wonderful
Ah,
people. I love Boston so much. I could live in Boston, but the winters are too crazy for me.
yeah.
But it's a beautiful city with just such a
Mhm.
rich history that we actually did the duck boat tour, which we're not big
Oh,
tour people,
yes.
but
Yes.
someone set it up for us because my husband has some connections through the Red Sox. So anyway, that's why we got kind of like the treatment, which was really nice. But
Yeah.
he set up his friends set up this duck boat tour, and we were kind of like, not sure we really want to do that. But I'm so glad we did because it's just a great way to see the city in like
Mhm.
an hour and a half, the whole city, and it was really cool. So we did the
And
duck
you had
boat
your
tour.
daughter with you too, which was so special.
Yeah, we took our oldest daughter, who's a huge music fan. She's really into 90s rock and roll and rap, and she's like,
You're raising her
I mean,
right.
yes, exactly. I mean, she is into like she does love Billie Eilish and Chapel
Right.
Roan, and like the newer people too. But she's really like her heart is in 90s
Yeah.
grunge, like
Yeah.
Nirvana, um, Foo Fighters. Anyway, well, Foo Fighters, yeah, I guess they would be considered more later grunge. But we are big Foo Fighters fans and had never seen them, and so when we got the opportunity to go, we were like, we're out. Anyway, so but we did have a good time with our oldest, and I mean, we got so close to the front. We were
Oh,
right there at the stage. So my daughter was just like in heaven, and
oh my
they
gosh.
kicked ass. It was so fun. So anyway, that was like a
Yeah.
wonderful weekend, and they just still can rock it. He's 55, and um, Pat Smear, the guitar player, is 64.
Right.
He
Wow.
was in a band called The Germs, and then he was in Nirvana for a bit. But he's like, I mean, I can't believe it. He's 64, and he's
Yeah.
still just they're doing
Yeah.
it. So it was really
Exactly. Like
cool.
age is just a number, man. You just got to take care of
Yeah.
yourself and you can go on forever. So
I've
no.
gotten off of all my so when we started this podcast, it
Yeah.
was because we were dealing with perimenopause and menopause,
Mhm.
and we were talking about all the things that were working for us and what wasn't working for us. And I got to a point where the stuff that I had originally talked about working for me was starting to not work for me anymore.
Right.
And I just decided to stop going and getting the pellet and go see an actual doctor because the one I originally went to, my doctor, my OB was just wanting to put me on birth control, if you guys
Right.
remember.
Yep.
And I was like, why is that my only option? So anyway, so going down this whole journey, I found another doctor. I'm going in next month, and I've decided I'm going to get off everything. Like even my
Mhm.
supplements that I'm getting
Right.
off of everything. I'm done with the pellet. It's been out of my system for a while. So while there are certain things that are still like I'm suffering right now with
Right.
some stuff, but I'm like, okay, I just want to go in and have her do like my baseline.
Yep.
This is what I am. Like what am I lacking? So she knows kind of what to
Truly
do. So
what
anyway,
you're
looking
what
for
you
that.
need. Yeah.
Yeah, truly
Mhm.
what I need. So anyway, but it's actually been kind of nice because I felt like I was spending so much money on
Oh
all
my
this
gosh,
stuff.
I
And
know.
I just didn't know what was really working and what
I
was just
know.
like, what's in my head? Is it like the placebo effect, you know?
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
so I'm just kind of taking a break from everything and then we'll see, but I'll report back. So that's coming
Good.
soon.
Okay, good. Yeah.
Um, yeah, but so, okay, wait. So since the last time we were on here, President Trump got shot.
Oh my gosh.
And Biden pulled out of the race, and now Kamala Harris is
Mhm.
probably going to be the Democratic
I think
nominee.
isn't she
So,
officially the, nominee or no? Has that not happened yet?
I mean, well, she's raised so much money. I mean, I don't
Okay.
know who else they would have.
And then the Secret Service director has
Oh yeah,
resigned.
she's, she stepped down
Yeah.
today.
Which I think
I
she should have
mean,
personally. I'm glad she did. That was
oh my gosh.
ridiculous.
I
Whether
mean, the
she's
fact
taking
that
the
she didn't
fall
answer.
for something else or she really truly is inept, like, the fact that I mean, now listen, you guys, I have gone down such a, like, deep hole of social media, like, I even told my husband this morning, I'm like, "I think I need to get off all social media because it's so
Yeah.
doom and gloom right now." I mean, it's like, I follow this one person that predicted the, attempted assassination of Trump, and then he
Hmm.
also predicted, civil war, which is terrifying because of what's gonna
Wait,
happen. It's still scary. It's
got
like
it.
The Simpsons, how they, like, predicted Trump, like, the
Oh
end
my
of the world.
gosh,
Like,
I
that
know.
freaks me out, all the different connections. So it's like, I told Joe, I'm like, "Okay, so they've predicted the Trump thing, then they predicted that Biden would drop out, but they're saying that he's dead." So I'm like, "Oh,
So
that's terrifying."
I've heard that he is on hospice.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. So I get all my news from House and Habit, you guys, because
Yeah.
I don't trust the mainstream media anymore. They
Yeah.
just are so like, you know what? It really hit me hard. I knew that they were full of shit and they were trying to control the narrative. I mean, I just, we've known that. What really hit me was when Trump got shot, and I'm not a Trumper, you guys. Like
Yeah. No,
I mean, I
we're
think
in
he
the
did
middle.
do
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I think he did do some good things for our country, but he's just his personality, the way he I mean,
Yeah.
we don't need to get into all that, but I'm
Yeah.
not saying I'm like a MAGA person at all. I'm not.
Yep.
But when he got shot and they were trying to say that Trump fell at one of his rallies or loud noises were heard
Yeah, they weren't
or it
admitting
might
that
be
it was a
glass.
shooter. Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I
Like
know.
he was clearly shot. There
Yeah.
was, I
In
mean,
April, they're saying there were
the fact
2.
that,
2 people. That's what's scary. They're saying there was
yeah,
one on the top of the
yeah,
building and one on a water tower, and there are people who saw it. There were witnesses that were saying,
right.
and the fact that they were like they had 59 minutes of warning, screaming
I
at the
know.
police officers, telling them we can see him with the gun. I mean, there's a whole conspiracy about it. Like the
Right.
guy did not have a backpack on. There was a 12-foot ladder to get up on top of the building. Where would he get that ladder? How
Hmm.
would he had like a little tiny car, and there
Right.
was
Well,
explosives. I mean, it's just yeah.
it'll be interesting to see what comes out because I think they're working really hard to hide some stuff right now.
Mhm. It's terrifying.
Just the way it all went down, I told my daughter, I was like, we, I mean, if he wouldn't have turned his head, we would have seen
I
someone's
know.
brains getting blown out
I
on
know.
live
I
television.
know.
I
Disgusting.
mean,
And what's sad
that
is that,
is
like well, and then the other side is saying that it was all set up, like it was a publicity stunt,
a stunt.
but there was a freaking firefighter that was killed, or a fire chief.
Yeah.
Like, that's not a stunt. Like, it's just to me and
No.
again, I'm not on either side, I'm so in the middle, but I'm frankly sick of both sides, and so, like I said, the
Yeah.
people that I'm following are scaring me to death because I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna have a civil war, the financial, economy is gonna just explode." They're saying that, like, that's gonna be terrible, And then they actually said that in the end, no, like there will be no election. So again, this is all like, you guys, this is all stupid social media stuff.
Conspiracy theorists.
But I
Yeah,
was like, oh my gosh, sometimes you just start going, well, what's real, what's not. So I said, I need to take a
I
break,
know.
like big time for a
It's
while.
you know, I agree, and it's such a time suck, and
Yep.
I am so guilty of waking up in the morning and getting on my phone and
Yeah.
scrolling, and next thing I know, 2 hours have gone by.
I know.
And I really need to stop. And my kids too, like we've gotten into this bad habit, and
Yeah. It's an
I got to get off
addiction,
too.
at least for
We've got
me.
to make some changes because it is. I've been kind of in a funk lately too, off
Yep.
and on, and there's no like it doesn't really bring joy to my life. I don't
I
even know
know.
why I do it.
I
I
know.
don't know.
Well, and
But anyway, so
it's that juxtaposition of wanting to be, like, informed, but then also ignorance is
mhm.
bliss, and so you're just like,
Right. Well, I
I
mean,
cannot live in a place of fear, like, I'm truly scared about what's gonna happen right now. I'm
right.
like, "Thi I would rather not know and just one day wake up to nothing." Like, that's just who I am. Because if I think
Well,
it's
we get our
coming, then I'm terrified.
right. Right. Well, that's where we get our news, unfortunately, these days
Mhm.
is social media. And so that's
Yep.
why I think we're so connected on it because we get up and we're
Yeah.
like, okay, what's happening today in the
Totally.
news? But then you get sucked into all this marketing and,
Mhm.
recipes and
Yep. Yes.
inspirational quotes and political stuff. And it's like an overload of
Yep.
information at one
They
time. And
mix
I
just a
just,
little bit of normal stuff and good stuff in it to keep you looking
hmm
at the bad stuff. It's very much on
right, right.
purpose.
Yeah.
Social media is in the business of your attention. That's what money
hmm
is. That their money maker is keeping your attention.
Well, I wish I would have been more strict around phones and social media with my kids,
Yeah.
because I heard something recently that just gutted me that said, when you want your kid's childhood to end, give them a cell phone and social
Oh.
media.
Oh, I know.
And it just made me feel like a horrible parent because
Oh.
I gave my kids a phone because I was like, oh, well, I need to be able to reach them. And
Yeah.
I let them have social media because I'm like, well, that's what their friends are doing and that's how they
Right.
connect with their friends. And I want them to be social. And,
Right.
it's just, it's,
It's
shoulda, coulda,
tough.
woulda, but,
I know. It's
yeah,
even
I
harder, I
just
think,
it's
with girls, because, like, my boys don't
yeah,
care. I mean, my youngest doesn't even have a social
mhm,
media. That's because he never asked for one either. So I got a little
yeah,
lucky with that, but it is true. But the good news is that your girls are in camp and you guys travel and you
mhm,
do things like, so it's not like they're just sitting in
true.
their room on their phone. I think that's really what that quote
Yeah,
means, is like they don't have a life other than their phone. Or, you go to the
mhm,
restaurants and you see those kids with the pads in front of them, which I'm not judging,
yeah,
because who knows if that was available when I was raising my kids, I probably would have
right,
done the same
right,
thing. But it is true. It's
exactly,
like, even with me as a 47-year-old adult, I like, this morning I woke up and I knew we were going to record today. So I'm like, I have to, like, get in the right mindset. I
mhm,
meditated. I went outside and played my drum. I walked in the grass. I grounded myself. I had some cacao. Totally different experience than what I've been doing the last few
right,
days. And I feel like I have more to
right.
give whenever I do
I
that.
know,
And that's real.
I know, I need to do that, I need to do more of that, and I have to say, so you said that, you follow these people who predicted this stuff, and I've had a couple scary situations
Oh,
where I
yeah.
predicted things that were gonna happen or I had visions of things that were gonna happen, and then, like, a day or 2 later, they happen. So the first one and again, like, maybe it happened with it's happened to me more than once, but the ones that to note are Michael Jackson. So before Michael Jackson died, like, I had a vision, like, 2 days before that Michael Jackson was gonna die, and then he died.
Wow.
Which again, not like, earth shattering. The guy,
Yeah.
we knew he had issues, so but the timing of it was
But he
funny.
wasn't
And
sick or
then
anything. I mean, that
yeah,
was out of the blue.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, Matthew Perry, another one,
Mm,
he had drug issues, but I had literally had a vision, but he had gotten clean, right? And then
right.
so I had a vision that he was gonna pass away of a drug overdose, and literally the next day it happened, and I was like,
Wow.
"Oh my god, I wish I would have told
Wow.
someone that I
Right.
had this vision." The day before Donald Trump got shot, I had a vision that he was gonna get shot at a
Mm,
rally. I know this sounds crazy, you guys. I know it's crazy. Again, not like earth shattering because, yeah,
right.
a lot of people hate him. So the fact that someone hasn't already tried to do that was
Right.
almost shocking. But the fact that like it was that rally, I had just had that
Mhm.
thought like the day before,
Yep.
and then it happened. I looked at my husband and I was like, okay, so I'm gonna have to start telling you everything that I like every
Yeah.
time I have one of these, I'm gonna have to tell you because I want you to believe me. Like, this
Yeah.
is really freaking me out. Because then I
Yeah.
have visions about, as a mom, you have visions about things happening to your family
Mhm.
and stuff. And then you're like, oh my God, is that going to actually come true?
Right,
So anyway,
right.
I'm
And you
kind of
better
scaring
freaking tell
myself a little bit.
me if there's anything about me, I
I'm
wanna
not
know.
saying, I'm a psychic. I'm just saying it's
Well,
very weird
yeah, you
that,
know what? And I think that we all have spiritual gifts in certain ways or not. Like I 100%, and I
yeah,
know some people will roll their eyes, but I can feel energy of people and
yeah,
situations. Like I could,
yeah.
I mean, it's
Oh, I
it's
can
like I can
too.
almost taste it. Like it's just like if I'm
Yeah,
around a really yucky person, instant I can feel it, or vice versa.
yeah.
Like if it's a good person. So, I think that we all kind of have those clairvoyance in certain ways, and
Hmm.
who knows? I
Yeah.
mean, my gosh.
And, well, and I don't, there's part of me that doesn't really believe in that kind of stuff,
Right.
but the more I kind of explore this spiritual journey,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm starting to like come to I'm starting to understand it. I'm starting to think that maybe there is, I always like say I'm an atheist. I'm starting to maybe think there is something,
Yeah.
and I don't believe in a God for sure, but maybe there's some sort of a spiritual world. I don't know. I
Right.
haven't figured it out yet, but
Right.
it's just
And what's
interesting
interesting
to
about that is,
be
as
open
you
to it.
guys right, and what you guys know that, with me deconstructing from the Mormon religion and everything, like, lately, and I don't know if it's just because I've been doom scrolling so much, but I was just telling my husband that I said, I feel like there's 2 different personalities, at least in the Christian world. Like, you have a totally different experience and upbringing
Hmm.
and everything, but with us, it's like we were raised with this certain idea and, like, this is how you do it and this is what you do. And so I found it kinda interesting where so with me, I feel like I need something to believe in. I need something to be hopeful for. I need
Hmm.
like when you die this happens like that for my personality,
Yeah.
that feels good and that feels
Yeah.
safe and that feels happy. For him and I'm more of a I don't need facts. So I'm more of emotion
Hmm.
based personality and
Hmm.
he's more factual. And so it was really interesting
Yeah.
because we had this talk because he was like, I'm great. I've never been better. Like so he's totally fine and isn't like feeling like there's something missing still in his life. Like I feel like I haven't quite got my footing. I almost feel like I'm still falling in like the Alice in
Oh,
Wonderland.
really? Okay.
Yeah. Where I'm like,
Yeah.
like, is this gonna feel right? Is this gonna hit? Is that gonna click? And
You're
it's not
still
quite
searching for something.
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And maybe
Yeah.
it'll be
See,
for a while or I don't know. But with him, it's like
yeah.
he's like, no, I totally feel like grounded and good and I don't even think about it. And it's like the two experiences that we're having is totally different.
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting because I think I'm definitely more like Joe, where I don't feel like I need to know if there's anything
Yeah.
after this. I'm kind of just like in it for this experience. I don't, yeah, I don't, maybe because I've never been like a religious
Yeah.
person. And
Yeah.
then where you thought there was something and now there's not. So you're like, well, there
Yeah.
has to be another reason for this. And
Right.
look, I'm not saying I'm closed off to it. I
Right.
mean, like whenever I'm with you, we do things like you had
Yeah.
Trisha,
Good.
you had her come and do Reiki, and then she
Yeah.
also she did some kind of reading, and
Like a
she
sound
brought some
bath
stuff
and
up.
yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, sound bath. And she definitely brought some stuff up that was
Yeah.
very, she would have not have known. That was very like personal. And so that's where I'm like, oh, okay. So I'm not closed off to
Yeah.
it. I'm very open to it.
Yep.
I'm just not searching for it. Like if it
Yeah.
comes to me, that's great, but I'm not like
Yep.
on this journey to find it.
Yeah.
Um, so anyway.
Yeah, and then you've got me where it's like I went from this extreme religious upbringing and like raising my
Mhm.
family that way and then losing it all. And I was just talking to my girlfriend about this. I feel like I've almost deconstructed too much. Like if that's I mean,
Mhm.
ex-Mormons will understand what I'm talking about because you almost get to a point where you're like now there's nothing left. It's actually called nihilism, which is terrifying, which is like you're basically
Mhm.
an avatar. Like you're just like in this body of flesh and there's really no purpose for it. There's some people that go that far. But I found myself the last
Yeah.
couple days like I prayed for the first time. And like I can't even remember. I mean, I'm always
Mm.
like I always have a prayer in my heart or whatever, but like I specifically was like, "Hey God, haven't talked to you in a while." Like that kind
Mhm.
of a thing. But what's hard
Yeah,
is that
yeah.
like when you've deconstructed, you get so cynical. Like you're just like, "Yeah, right. Yeah, right." Like you're almost like I'll believe that when I see it. You get
Mhm.
to that point. And now I'm
Mhm.
kind of swinging I think I went all the way over here and now I'm kind of coming back where I'm like okay, like I do believe there's a God, and I don't know. I'm definitely still very much in the middle. I thought I was way further along in this process than I am. But yeah, it was really interesting cuz just the last couple nights, and I don't know again if it's just cuz I'm so in a fearful state right now where I'm like I need to
Yeah.
pray. I need to feel like somebody's in charge and we're not going to like die.
Yeah. You just need to get it out. You need to get it out,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever
I'm
that is.
journaling out loud. Yeah,
Because I think,
exactly.
yeah, I think that's, I think that helps. I mean, look, I again, I just because I don't believe in a God doesn't mean I don't believe in like an energy or just like putting good affirmations out into
Yep.
the universe or whatever. I mean,
Mhm.
I love to travel. I love to travel. Flying is not my favorite thing, and I
Yeah.
do get nervous every time I travel and every time I fly. And I do say in my head to nobody or whoever, like, please
Right.
keep us safe, please keep us safe, please
Absolutely.
keep us safe. So whether that's just me putting it out into the universe,
Yep.
I don't really think I'm saying it to anybody in particular, but I think it just helps to get that thought out
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. Be
whatever that
connected.
means to you. If it's,
Yes.
yeah, if
Yes.
it's praying, if it's just,
Yep.
releasing your fears or whatever it is. So
And
we
you know
all
what the
have our own
beauty is about
system.
us, you and I? It doesn't even
What?
matter. We love each other no matter
I
what.
know.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't
Exactly.
have
Well,
to
I
fit in a
was,
box for me to accept you and love you and think you're saved, and I don't have to fit in a
mhm,
box for you to think I'm loved and saved and that you accept me, because like, that's the beauty of
right,
true friendship is that come as you are, and we know that whatever it is, it's all gonna be okay because if it is a loving
right.
God, I'm just gonna play devil's advocate. If it's a loving God, then he should know your heart and he should know your circumstances, and if it's
Right.
not, then it won't matter because we're just gonna like be stars or
Yeah.
whatever happens, so
Yeah.
anyways, so yeah, so no
Well,
no more
I
doom scrolling for this
no
April.
more doom
I'm done.
scrolling. I know, I'm done. I need to get a book or something because
Oh
I don't
yes.
wanna scroll either. Well, I was
Yeah.
joking with my family really quick, and then we can move on. Last
Yeah.
night, I was joking because my in-laws watched my youngest, for a night while we were still in Boston, and they were just asking about, the trip and everything, and we got into, like, flying or whatever. And, sometimes I'm nervous and sometimes I'm not. I think it just depends
Yeah.
on, like, have I had enough rest or
Right.
what's the weather like or,
Yeah.
whatever. And,
Yeah.
I was joking. I was like, "Yeah,
Martini.
yeah, a martini helps." I was like,
Mhm.
it's like I can see the atheism like floating out of my body when I get on an airplane. It's like as I'm like, "Oh, please protect me." For those however many hours I'm on that plane, I'm
Oh.
not an atheist anymore. And then when I land, I'm like, okay,
You're
yeah,
like,
like
"Good. Okay,
that's
good. Yeah, we
yeah,
can go back
yeah.
to thinking the way we do." I know. And that's the
I
thing
know
is
it's
that, you
funny.
know what? I think that's just life. Like, we're all just trying the best we can, and that's what drives me nuts when people are so judgmental because
Yeah.
I'm like, you don't even understand like the circumstances. Like, even being raised a Christian, even though it was Mormon, but a form of Christianity, I'm even struggling. So it's like, how
Hmm.
dare anybody judge anyone for how they feel? Because there's so many
Well,
things that come in a factor.
Well, my youngest daughter, she's gonna go to a Catholic school this year because
Yeah.
she wants to go to private school and she's interested in this Catholic school. And I'm like, great. Like
Yeah.
you'll get to learn about Catholicism and see if it's for you.
Yeah.
I'm
And
excited
have
for
her knuckles
her.
bruised by nuns.
Yes. I don't think they do that anymore,
Damn
but
it!
for
I wanted to have the real
but
experience.
I know, exactly.
Uh,
The authentic Catholic experience that
I
my
know.
mother
Although
had,
I'm
but I'm very open-minded about that stuff. So I'm
yes, of
excited for her to
course.
have her experience and for her to figure out what her beliefs are. So,
Yeah, and you're gonna love your kids
um,
no matter what, wherever they land.
oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I
Yeah,
hope she finds something that she connects to, and if she doesn't,
yeah,
great. But at least she knows, like she's,
yeah,
put in the work and put in the time to learn about it.
yeah. And
So,
you know what it is too is
um,
I just need hope. That's all.
yeah,
I want
yeah.
hope. I just need to be
You
able to
know,
hope.
I think, right now, I think the majority of Americans don't feel like they have like it's very hopeless right now. And I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are faking that we like some of the candidates. Like, I don't know. I mean, I see all these things like watch how you're speaking about Kamala Harris around your daughters because they're listening to I'm like, yeah, but okay,
Mm-mm.
do we really want to promote someone that we don't think is a good candidate, like, just because she's a woman? I'm like, I
I
don't freaking
know.
care. Like, of
I
course, would it be
agree.
great to have a woman president? Sure, it'd be
Yes.
great to have a woman president,
Yeah,
but just because she's a woman doesn't mean that she's the right person. And I mean,
exactly.
anyway, so I don't like,
Yeah,
again, either of the
I
candidates. We
know.
have bad choices.
I
So
know.
it does feel a little hopeless, but
Well,
anyway,
and
hopefully
maybe it's like, there's so many there's so many amazing Americans that could be amazing leaders of this country, women included, especially. I would love to see a woman president in my lifetime, but I just don't want it to be like it just feels icky. There's something really weird going on right now.
it's
Yeah.
just a lot of shady shit going
Yeah,
on, and I
I
think it's
know.
going on both sides. Um,
Oh, definitely.
I I just, yeah, it's scary.
Yeah.
I know we keep saying that, but it'll be interesting to see what comes out in the coming months. And you guys,
Mhm.
if you don't follow House and Habit, you got to follow House and Habit, because
Yeah.
it gives you all the information, and she has
Yep.
really good um leads, and she kind of has, what do you call them? I guess leads. I mean,
Like
she has
investigative
very,
skills.
like, well, she has good investigative skills, but she also
Yeah.
has people who, I guess, they tip her off on things, but they're
Oh,
credible.
yes.
And
Right.
she doesn't put anything out there that she doesn't like, that isn't from a credible source,
Right.
basically.
Yeah,
But
that's
she gives you all
important.
the information, and then you
Mhm.
get to make up your mind
That's
on
how it
how you
used to
feel
be.
about it.
Yeah.
Where everything now is so biased.
I just wanted to do before we do our one and dones, look at what I'm almost done with.
Oh, you're Victoria Beckham lip gloss. Do
Uh-huh.
you
This
love
this
it?
side's totally all the way down to the bottom. That's I'm, like, scooping it
Oh
up
my
on that side.
gosh.
I've loved it so much. This is so
Wait,
one of my
is that the
girlfriends
martini? Is that the
this one
martini or is it
is
bikini?
yes, this one's martini. This one's the one
Okay.
that you got me for my birthday. It's like
Yeah.
the
Okay.
gold. But,
Yeah. 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 I have
my
it on too.
girlfriend's daughter, she's pretty popular on TikTok. I'd say she's TikTok famous, but she does this thing called empty influencing. That's like the trend that she
Mm,
started, and she said, "What
okay.
better way to show I love a product than to show it empty?" And so this is
Oh
my
yeah, that's
empty
a good idea.
influencing. But I love it, April. I've just used it. I even use it at the gym because that's I'm that girl. Yes, I do. I
Yeah,
have
it
lip
looks good
gloss.
on you. It looks really
Always lip
pretty on
gloss.
you.
Thank you, honey. Thank you. I just love it. So, okay, one and done. I'll do mine first since yours is a show.
Okay.
So, okay, so my one and done is you can order these from Amazon, but they are stainless steel gua sha uh,
Mm.
candles. Now, I
Ooh,
have
I like those.
set at home and a set at work because you guys know I'm an esthetician. So these are 24.99. And what I love about them is that you can have them hot or cold. So if you want them cold,
Oh.
I just keep them in the fridge. So they have this like little thingy that goes with it.
Mhm.
So I put my vitamin C on in the morning and I just, go all the way through. You do your little gua sha massage and you go up the face and around your eyes and they're cold. And then you can even like hold it
Mm.
underneath your eyes and then if you want them warm, you get like hot water, boiling, whatever you want to do. You dip them in, let them sit there for a second, and then obviously touch them before you're touching your skin. But then they're warm, and you can do
So what
either
does the
way.
warm help with? Because I know the cold helps with, like,
Right.
tightening
I
and stuff.
think
What
the
does the
warm
warm do?
I would think the warm would be more like opening up the skin, like good for
Okay.
product penetration. If you like that word.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
like if you wanted to, I would start with the warm. If you're going to do warm and cold, I would start with the warm. So it kind of opens you up and
Mhm.
then maybe have another set and have it cold because you always want to
Does it
close your pores.
how does it do a good job of conducting heat? Because, like, keeping it hot for a while, because my
Yeah.
girls, sometimes they suffer from styes, and you know how they say
Yeah.
to put a hot compress?
Yep.
I bet that would be good to put
Yeah,
on
that's
your
a good idea. I've
eye.
never tried it. I've actually never used them hot, to tell you the truth, because I
Okay.
always like them cold. But
Yeah.
that'd be really interesting to see, how because
Mhm.
I mean, it's like shaped
Right. 'Cause if
kind
you
of
get a
interesting.
sty and you
Yeah,
get, like,
exactly.
a rag really hot and you put it on there, it only lasts for a
Right.
very short amount of time, then you gotta do
Yeah.
it again. I bet something
Yep.
like that would hold the heat more and
Yeah,
conduct the
because
heat
there's
so that you can use
liquid.
that.
There's liquid in them.
Oh.
So then you can also do your ASMR around your ears. But anyways,
Yeah.
that's my one and done. I love these. They're super
Oh my god,
cheap
I'm
and you can get
ordering.
them from Amazon. So,
Okay, I'm
yes.
ordering those.
All right.
Okay, so my one and done really quickly. So I just started this show and it's on Apple TV, Presumed Innocent with Jake Gyllenhaal. Have you watched that yet?
So my girlfriend just told me to watch this show. So now that's a
It's so
confirmation
good.
I gotta watch that. Okay.
It's a what do you call it? A suspense or like
Okay.
psychological kind of thriller, but
Okay.
suspense. It's really good. So he plays an attorney. He's a prosecuting attorney with the DA's office,
Ooh.
and he's like one of the best. And I don't want to give too much away, but there's a murder of one of his colleagues, and he's kind of tied up with this person.
Okay.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
Yeah,
Once you see
right?
it, but anyway, it's really, really good if you're looking for a new show. And I started watching it without my husband, so I feel kind of bad.
Oh!
But
Oh,
I know
no.
it was like one of those things where he was. Oh, you know what it was? I was when I was really sick, and I was in
Yeah.
bed, and I needed something to watch, and so I just started
Mhm.
watching it, and he was, obviously doing his thing. So
Yeah.
anyway, but it's so
Okay.
good. But I'm gonna need
Presumed
a show after. Yes, I need a show
okay.
once I'm done because I'm almost done. So, the other one I'm watching, I'm just gonna do a twofer.
Yeah.
Is the I think it's called America's Sweethearts, but it's on Netflix. I'm gonna look it up right now. Yes,
Okay.
America's Sweethearts, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders. I'm
Oh, I've
watching
heard
that
about
Netflix
this.
documentary.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's actually it's kind of like a guilty pleasure. So
Yeah.
those are the two I'm
Yeah.
watching right now.
Okay, I like that. Your popcorn
All
and
right.
an
So we're
hour,
under an
that's the
hour.
challenge today. I was like, we can do it," even though I feel like I can still talk to you for another hour after this, but this was a
I
good one. This is
know.
what the hell's going on, guys? Like, can
Yeah.
we get through this? And yes, we can. We just have to
Yeah.
keep spreading love. That's really what we have to
All
keep
right.
doing. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll see you next week.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, thanks for
Love you.
listening. Bye.
Bye.
Do you want me
Thank you for listening to We Are Fine and Neither Are You. This podcast is all about spreading joy, knowledge, and laughter. While we strive to provide accurate information, please keep in mind that we're only human and mistakes happen. In addition, we would like to remind our listeners that the opinions expressed throughout this episode are for entertainment and informational purposes only. We do not claim to be experts in any particular field, and the content provided should not be taken as professional advice. We encourage you to consult with qualified professionals or do your own research before making any decisions based on the information shared in this podcast. Thank you for joining us, and remember to stay curious and critical in your pursuit of knowledge. Please rate and review this episode. Your feedback is important to us.